Hello, hello. I believe that we're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. Maybe. But maybe. What do? Yeah, what's up? I think we're live. So then what I do is I go over here. Oh, it's Melissa's birthday. I need to wish her a happy birthday. I gotta switch group. So YouTube people, will be with you in a second. Nobody watches on YouTube. I don't even know why, but there we go. Oh my god, it's Emily. Hey Emily, I would totally scream and just be like, Emily, oh my god. But like, my kid is not taking a nap in the room next to me, and she might play until she goes to sleep, because that's what she's sort of been doing, which would be freaking amazing if she does that, because like, she just hasn't, she's sick. She's really sick. She's sick and she needs to sleep. So I'm doing a show, and I haven't done one in so long. Emily, what do you want to talk about? What's going on? What the F is going on, Emily? It's your show now. It's totally your show, because you're the one who watched. Oh, now it's not Bree's show. Hey, Bree! Actually, you inspired some of the stuff that I was going to comment on. Good to see you. I'm not sure if you heard the beginning, but like, kids sleeping in the room, and they really want her to sleep because my wife is like so pregnant and wants to go to bed, and we're talking like names, and she's like blah 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 blah. Preschool sick bug is so consistent. Yeah, it's actually this one. It might be that it's different. She's actually sick a lot less, which is twofold. We've dialed her back to 3 days a week, and then the other one is they had a break from school for a week while they were moving schools. And I think that week-long break just interrupted the sickness, which made me like, I'm going to say I might be a year-round school extremist now. Like, every 3 months, boom, hard break. Every 3 months, boom, hard break. Every 3 months, every 10 weeks, hard break for a couple of weeks. Man, how much would that slow down illness? Like, I understand that people are like, oh my god, what are we going to do with the kids because of the summer sports? Or like, oh my god, what are we... Well, you'll figure it out. You figured out COVID, you'll figure out year-round school, and your kids will be smarter and probably less crappy. Emily, we celebrated Mother's Day today because I work tomorrow. Gardening, puzzles, Little Mermaid cartoon, movie. It's been lit. I hope you got lit. Sounds nice. And hey, Bree, what do you want to talk about? What are we going to talk about? Do we want to talk about my garden? Because it's all sick. So here's what I actually had as far an idea for the show, which is like kind of going through what happened in the past week. So I've been awake since 2:30 in the morning, so I might be a little bit, because I also went to bed at like 10, and that's been like just a common theme lately. I'm getting like way less sleep, but I'm also like going straight out into the yard every morning, and like just getting blasted with like light and nature, which actually it's okay. I'm okay. I'm like, my circadian rhythm has adapted to being in the great white north. But Bree knows how funny that one is, and Bree is in support of year-round school because Bree's smart. Bree's an intellectual. But wait, there's more. So what do you guys want to talk about? Emily wants to hear about that garden. Okay, so we're going to talk about that garden. So I have some ideas about the garden, and I'm not really sure. Let's see, we got to pull this guy up. And we're not even going to look at that Dostoevsky quote because I ain't going to do that. So let's go ahead and go to these. Why? Like, this ain't gonna... Oh, filtered by all items, edited, voted. How about albums? How about just albums? Jesus God, why is... I'm gonna do an Apple rant. Why does Apple just suck so bad? Why does Apple just suck so unbelievably bad? No wonder they're not the wealthiest corporation in the world anymore. It's Saudi Aramco. But this is unbelievable. Like, it's just nothing... Let's do just photos. No, that doesn't work. Let's do by edited. No, that doesn't work. How about by album? Can you show me the different albums? My photos only. There, we'll go there. And then we'll go, oh, we can't go to albums. Why would I ever want to be able to select the photos that I deliberately put into an album? I put it into an album so I can fucking find them. How is Tony doing? How's the Fed? The CIA agent. How's the CIA agent? And Apple does blow. GarageBand is BS. Dude, I heard how great GarageBand. Everybody's like, oh my god, GarageBand's so great. It's so amazing. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, this is crap. It's all crap. Like, it's... And, like, Brie, you'll probably back me up on this. Apple's, like, MIDI or whatever soundboard BS crap, it's not good. And it hasn't been for over a decade. Like, I don't understand why people are like, man, Apples are the best for music, because they're not. It's not good. The quality of sound is actually really bad. It's gone down the toilet. Anyways, so I'm trying to figure out that garden right now, babe. But, like, I don't know what this damn thing is doing. So maybe if I go all the way to the top and just scroll all the way up, but I gotta, it's, uh-oh, don't want the bar to go away. Oh, Goldman Sachs, that's an interesting little thing. So how do I select? Here we go, like that. No, we're not gonna do that. Tony's good. We had a real talk about the afterlife today. That's often a very interesting conversation. And now let me see if I could try. Well, let's try view albums. We're gonna go to my album. So if I could just complain real quickly. I'm not gonna. We're just gonna talk about that. And actually, let's see if we can do that. We're gonna see if I can do photos, display capture, something. One better than that. Window crop. Photos. Not that. It ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna do it. If I try that way out, that ain't it. So we're going to go back to Twitter. And I'm just going to resize this to kind of make it work, I think. So, like, blow that up a little bit. No, blow it up a little bit right there. No, go there. No, garden. That's my garden. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, yeah. Happy Mother's Day, Emily. Happy Mother's Day, Brie. Tomorrow. We're sort of celebrating it. Just kind of like, oh, yeah, it's Mother's Day. What are we going to do? You know why? Because she's pregnant and tired. Like, we haven't sent our moms cards, and we're like, ugh. And so, like, us being such crappy kids makes it a lot... it takes a lot of the weight off my shoulders. So let's talk about the garden, guys. What I'm going to do is I want to show you this little video first, Emily and Brie. And this is just like a little view of my yard. And it looks like I might be talking. This is April 14th, so a month ago. So today I hit those. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. Okay. Guys with nitrogen. Those guys with nitrogen. These two guys with nitrogen, and that guy back there. And we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to do a quick little progress photo on how the yard and everything's looking. Because it's going to look different very soon. I should also get over here because I plan on changing this dramatically over the course of this year. So, you know, that sucks. Hopefully it sucks less. Bye. And I'm not going to point... Ooh, you like the blue deck? Thanks. So does Jessica. Like, we figured, well, why don't we just do blue? Blue's a happy color. It needs more blue. We're going to redo the deck. We're going to add to the deck. Grandma Peggy's coming for the baby, and we might enlist Grandma Peggy. Brie, you can explain what that's like to Jessica Bennett. Or, I'm sorry, Emily Anderson. Fudge brownies. Here, let me see if I can share this new video with my... Wait a second. I might not have put it into my album, so I have to go over here and go to this and go to albums, photo albums, and then my albums, and then just everything, and then possibly and my kids just making sounds. What is... Oh, Ron loves cerulean. Lovely. I like it when my kid sleeps. So what are my albums? I don't want to do albums. I don't want to... God, I hate Apple so much. So much. I wish... I hate it. And I'm not gonna miss Apple, okay? There's not gonna be like a point in my life where I'm like, man, you know, it was really a lot better when we had Apple. And my kid's totally awake. She's not gonna sleep, which just sucks so bad. But now I can't. Here's the thing: I can't get back to my photos now. I can't actually look at other pictures. I can only look at. I might swear. I might start swearing. I might really start swearing because I'm not gonna swear. I'm not gonna swear. I'm not swearing right now, Emily and Bree. I'm not gonna do it. But man, the sound of my kid making that sound while looking for this is like so infuriating. Like I'm just so angry. Bree saw a car with 2 Apple stickers on it in the freeway today, and they were driving erratically. I bet they were looking at their fucking phones. So let's go to library, and now I have to scroll through literally everything I have, and then we go down here. And so here's a quick little video that I took. Okay, now we can go back. Now, hey, do you remember that last picture of the raspberries? Somebody going up my hill. But yeah, I made a shorter one, but I'll make a slightly longer one. So I talked about hitting all these with nitrogens. Did you see that little, like, and the nitrogen that I did is I mowed the lawn and I stuck it in like that red bucket back there, and with a bunch of water, and let it sit for a while. And then 3 days, you just leave it out there for 3 days, you stir it, 3 days, stir it. And then I hit those, the strawberries, and blueberry here, which is the blueberry bush. I'll show you in a second. And I actually went ahead and hit the trees with it, and there's the blueberry bush back there. It's kind of hard to see. Ka-chink. So that thing was non-existent, to give you an idea. And then here's a longer video, since I'm going to have to go pretty quickly, maybe if my kid goes to sleep. But here's like a kind of description of the backyard, and I'll kind of give you a walk through a little stuff. Blueberries are delicious. To give you an idea of how things can change in this is a month, literally like 4-week difference, and just look at how much crap grows. It's crazy here. Just can't believe I sound like that.
Closer uppy of what I've done.
So this bed, which I can't, like, I'll just that bed right there. I can't highlight it because then Apple's like, touch the button. Do you want to touch the button? No, I want to. No, but touch the button. But I want to. The button. Fuck Apple. Anyways, so like, I can't even do it. Anyways, that first planter that you're looking up at, and I gotta look up. I'll just look. So that planter right there. I took off the top layer of it, and the top layer was like grass and buttercups and some other crap. And so what I did is I took that and then I parsed it with the, not parsed it, but I took out all the strawberries, which I'll show you all the strawberries in a second. But what I'm doing is, like, I ripped all that stuff out and I covered it with cardboard because there's like so many bugs, and it's called like active soil, or like it's a bioactive soil. So there's like 10 different species of bugs in there, different types of worms. There were like 3 different types of spiders. There were some bugs that I killed because I'm like, I don't need any grubs and slugs in here, but which was pretty good because, yes, kill those guys. They're gonna go and they eat many of my fruit. And then these were our gigantic freaking tulips. Anyway, let's continue. And then what I did is I decided to put a fence around the raspberries. And so I hit the raspberry, like, you hit plants with nitrogen to make them grow, like nitrogen makes them grow big. And then phosphorus and magnesium is for the fruit. And these are already starting to flower, so I went ahead and did invite spiders in. Dude, we have so many spiders.
Went ahead and rein in those.
Crud, why did that go away? So let's go back here. And so there's the other overgrown strawberry box. But to put things into perspective, in this thing, I pulled out like 30 strawberry plants and then replanted them. Hopefully that works. Hey, I don't want to hear anything from somebody who talks about, oh, you need to cut across the creek. Okay, get back to me when you learn how to talk, Washington. I don't want to hear it.
That was a little.
Come on, guys.
Went ahead and reined in those.
So what I did is I put like bone meal and like ground fish guts and oyster shells and some other really disgusting stuff, so much so that the dogs were like sniffing it. So I went ahead and impromptu put up that fence.
Those raspberries. Talk more about that later. Here's moving the planters. Here's a new planter.
I'll show you more of that, but basically what this is this my bugle garden. I've written extensively about it, but for those of you who haven't read it, the bottom brick, basically like that whole 8 inches is nothing but wood. And then I put like dead raspberries and some other like kind of reedy things along it. And then I put a couple mycelium logs in there, and then I put a bunch of dirt and a bunch of worms and leaves and grass and just compost and wood pellet, like just so much organic material, just tons and tons. And then I put topsoil on top of it. And what'll happen is like the mycelia will act as a communication sort of network for it. It'll be a nutrient transfer network. So mycelia can actually move nutrients to plants and help regulate it, because it develops a symbiotic relationship with the roots, because the plants wind up giving mycelia chlorophyll and other stuff that it needs. This thing's badass. Like, this is such a science organic garden. It's crazy. And literally each, like, there's right here in this just little square area, I probably have 150 plants. And I mean, just like right there.
New flowers up here. So there's, I'm going to just show this so you have like idea of all the crap that we planted. We have some, there's stuff in each one of those. There's all the billions of strawberries that I just transplanted.
It doesn't look like that much, but
some
there's
new
a ton of them.
tulips. I'm pretty sure those two are dahlias.
Yeah, those are some dahlias.
More tulips.
More tulips.
There are some lilies in the back. There's some more lilies. These little mushrooms. So those mushrooms were not there this morning. There's a couple of callas right there. There's some ground cover. There's another dahlia in there. We'll see if it pops.
Bree, I'm gonna block you.
And then, over here we have a bunch of there's a couple of dahlias, and I don't remember the name of the other ones. I can ask Bree. And then there's some more lilies that I planted just kind of hanging out. And there's our big peony. It's so big I'm probably gonna have to
the peony's
I'm gonna
gigantic.
take those two over and put them right here, and then the rest of this is gladioluses. I think that's what I said. And these are the blue babies, whatever they're called. Those flowers are already done. Those guys are done. Those are tulips. The plan is basically to always have flowers. There is the blueberry bush. Here are the logs that we're going to do mushrooms with. That is awesome soil. That is just the most awesome soil that's ever existed. I'm saving it for something special.
So let's go back to the logs.
Blueberry bush. Here are the logs that we're going to do mushroom.
So with these logs, I have, that's literally, that's, if I had to guess, maybe 1,400 pounds of wood that I moved over there myself like a giant man. So what I'm going to do is take a drill bit, and then you drill holes in the logs. And then you take dowels that are soaked in mycelia and spores, like mushroom spores, and then you hammer it in and then wax over it. And so I got enough pink oysters, blue oysters, and reishi mushrooms for all that. I should have done lion's mane, but whatever.
That is awesome soil. That is just the most awesome soil that's ever existed. I'm saving it for something special.
That
and
sucks
there's that
back there.
knotweed that I was talking about. So gonna bring that up with cardboard, and I'm gonna burn it.
Knotweed grows like
actually,
a
we'll go
foot
over
a
here
day.
real quick. So there's the cherry tree, other cherry tree,
Pie
high
cherries.
cherry tree, and there's those buckets. And
Someday, Bree.
let me see. I don't remember which one's which, but one of those big guys is onions, and the other one's
15-gallon
garlic,
bucket.
and then we have lavender, orange flowers, and then more dahlias, tomato plant, and I have a bunch of tomato starts elsewhere.
So that's basically what I've done over the last month. and a crap load of weeding, just tons and tons and tons of weeding. And I will be shrooming. Like, I would love to sell shrooms as a side hustle. Like, if we actually, like, if those things work and I have more mushrooms than I can handle, I'm totally going to sell them in a market. I'm like, hey, get your mushrooms from Bellingham. Oh yeah, and I went on a thread with Elon today, and it was just tons of Pepe memes, so that's why that's there. I'm getting ready. Anyways, let's go back to the garden a little bit more, because there's some more stuff that I want to explain. Emily, Emily, are you still here? I love you, Emily. If you're here, I'll stay here, but if you're not, I'm leaving. Albums. Then we go to Gardon. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. So I'm going to roll through these pictures real quickly, but to give you an idea, there's my cute little kiddo. And remember what all was back there? Nothing. And remember all that was right there? Nothing. Well, we took care of that. This was the first chunk of mycelia that I found in my yard. So if you take a look, and this was in the front, I was like amazed. And I'm like, it's mycelia magic. So this stuff, plants love it. Love it. And you know what they don't have in like giant factory farms is this stuff. So I'm probably going to talk about organic farming quite a bit, and also like organic. Emily is here. Hey Emily. All right, I'll make sure I don't swear for Wade. Wade, cover your virgin ears if I swear, but other than that, you'll be okay. So, and actually, you guys hear me out. So I have an idea on inspiring people who live in apartments to grow food and like organic food. And specifically, like, if you just got a big pot, like, it doesn't even have to be a huge pot, but something that you would have, like, a big flower pot or whatever, you could just grow kale. Just grow a ton of kale. Grow a ton of organic kale in your house. Or in your apartment. Oh, that's a good idea. And then get, like, a little lamp over it, like a little sun lamp, and then hit it with however much, and, like, I could help you dial it in if you want to. But put this kind of crap in there, and leaves and sticks, maybe, like, a worm. Share with Ray or your neighbors. Like, I have this thing where I think like people in apartment buildings, so like, you know what, Bree could talk about this quite a bit, Emily probably could, but like food deserts, you know, you could just go into an urban area and just be like, hey, well, you know, all your food sucks, but at least you could have like organic kale, and then people are like, oh, this is what organic farming is, oh my god, da, 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 and then just take off and destroy the power structure just by us making our own food. I'm not joking either. That would really mess things up. If we actually made our own food, holy shit, this thing would come down. And that's actually going to be my radical thing. That's my radical thing, is organic farming. We don't need that. I don't even know why that's in there. That guy got in a lot of trouble. That guy had so much trouble. I burned that bridge too. I would like to say that I got the Ali Alexander guy wrong. Like, he was a clearly powerful political guy, but what a perv. And so he torched the relationship. He'll never talk to me. So these are pepper starts. So this is the dome sprouter that I have. I now have 2 of these, and then it's got a heat map underneath it. Matt. Kris Jenner grows her own greens. Cool. Greens are super easy, but here's the thing that I might be, and I can't say specifically of, you know, what's she doing or like the microgreen thing, but what, like, my microgreening would just be like sprouting as opposed to doing any sort of hydroponic chemical solution. Like, this is just 100% organic. 100% organic. Here's some pots that I got from Costco. So these were the guys that wound up getting the dahlias and the orange flowers. Here's another video.
3 or none. 3 or 0.
That's me debating with my kid. I don't need to show you that video. So this is like some cardboard that I wound up soaking to get like my mycelia going. So I took like that mycelia, and then I broke it up and I put it on the cardboard, and then I put it in those are the buckets. Anyways, so what I did is here's what I did. And so I took like wood chips and that kind of stuff, and I soaked them, boiled them, bricked them down, and then also took some other plant material. And then, yeah, that's a pretty sick one that I found.
This is some burnt log who's probably been sitting here for...
So that has, boom, mycelia all over it. So I took that and I put it in the big planter. Anyway, so what I did is I broke all this stuff up and I put it under a heat map with some water, and I had medium success with it. Like, I need to dial that one in. I don't exactly 100% know what I'm doing yet. Yeah, it is working. I mean, I do have mycelia growing, and it's going to go in all my pots. So basically, like, let's just say you had like all of the ground had mycelia all over it, and so it's like, you know, this part of the garden over here and everything, like it would function like an internet for the entire yard. And if everybody had it going over it, it would function like an internet for the entire hill, and it would actually be able to move nutrients around to plants that actually need them. The way that we do monocropping agriculture destroys all of that. It kills the mycelia, it kills the bugs, it kills the worms, it kills freaking everything. It's terrible, terrible, terrible for the biosphere. It kills everything. It literally, like our agriculture kills everything. And it doesn't have to. But the advantage of it is, like, they did find a way to grow a ton of corn, just tons of corn and tons of food. And you know, America feeds the globe as a result of doing this, but it's not sustainable and it's ugly. Dude, we literally get our fertilizer from flared off natural gas. All that nitrogen people are putting on their lawns when you see them going like, and like the little pellets are flying out and all that stuff. That's natural gas. That's flared off natural gas and then like separated what's isolated. So people are putting natural gas all over their food and we're eating it, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, we're sick for some reason. So that's part of my revolution. And then there's my grass pile, so I can get more mycelia. This was like, I discovered that this tree has like some rot going on, and so I like was like, hey, guy who I know who's really into trees and stuff, and my neighbor, can you check that out? And he's like, it's fine. There's my lovely pregnant wife. You can see her belly. It's so much bigger now. But this was us kind of like planning out the stuff, and so she did help me somewhat, but I did the lion's share of it because she's pregnant. Each one of these blocks, by the way, is 25 pounds. Okay, like my workout has just been gardening. Oh, and you can actually see the tulips right now. So these are like the purple flowers that grow right in the early spring, and then we have a bunch of yellow tulips, and we're gonna break these up and move them around because we have so many tulip bulbs that they're just crowding each other out. And then there's the fanny green stuff. And so anyways, there's like the outline of it, and so you put 2 layers of cardboard down to help keep all the stuff around, and then 2 more layers of cardboard. With cardboard, when you put it down, overlap the joints. And so there's a log for representation, and there's some just cardboard crap that we threw in there. I guess I can rotate that, so you can, it feels a little weird. But you can see the cardboard through there, and then like how I put down the logs, and then there's a bunch of sticks. There's more sticks. There's more sticks. More sticks and stuff, and then there's the sawdust. And I also threw in more cardboard, and I threw the cardboard in to keep it wet. Also, like cardboard is great for restoring soil. So let's just say you have a yard that's like crap, and I don't know, you guys are friends with Brian Clark, and I don't know if you saw his tomato garden, but what he did is he put down a bunch of cardboard and then he put the plants on top of the cardboard. And what that does is cardboard holds moisture really well, so it creates like a barrier, so even if the sun's beating down, like it's not going to dry out anything below the cardboard. And so if you get the roots below the cardboard, okay, that's great. But what it does is it also protects all the little microorganisms in the soil, so they're existing underneath, like, you know, that layer of dirt, and then that and then you get all the worms to go deeper and turn all the soil and get all that stuff going. So also regenerative gardening, I'd like to help people out with that. And this is the wall that the dogs have taken out 18 million times. So that's what the kind of completed project looks. I'll let you know what it looks like when it's all, you know, growing and stuff. Anyways, there's more pictures of it. My mycelia magic. So I was like, you know what I need to do? I need to get mycelia. Oh, there's some mycelia. And I was like, you know what I need? I need some dirt for my garden. And then my brother, stepbrother-in-law, was like, hey, you want a bunch of dirt? And so he actually, like, I was going to go pick up some buckets of it, and he's like, hey, I've got a trailer, and then we just unloaded that, and now it's like basically that big. There's hardly anything left. And then these are some buckets from Zach, the guy who checked out my tree, and he lives like right up the street, and he's like, hey, like, you can totally have all this sticks and mulch and crap. And so I'll show you what I did with that in a little bit. Those are some pictures. So this is how I made all the flower pots, okay? And Bree's a member of the Church of Cardboard. So what I did is I put, I might have put cardboard in the bottom. I don't exactly remember it, but basically, and I don't think I did. What I did was I put like a bunch of mulch. I basically put a bunch of mulch and wood. So like wood is fantastic because as it rots, like it gives off all this crap, okay? Plants love the crap out of it, but also mycelia loves rotting wood, and fungus loves rotting wood, and bugs love rotting wood. And so if you put rotting wood in the soil, it mimics like the forest floor. So like basically what I'm trying to do is create like the most natural soil ever that has ever existed, and then put it in pots. And so I did that, and then I topped that with cardboard. I put cardboard over that a little. I think I did. Or actually, no, not with the first batch. With the second batch, I put cardboard over it. With this, I just put the dirt directly in. So like plants will grow in dirt, but there's a difference between dirt and soil. So there's more of that stuff. And then I already talked about those bad boys. But I mean, legit, like my dad was sitting there being like, oh my God. Actually, thank you, Bray. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm making my backyard Amazon, and I want to teach everybody how to do, well, everybody who's willing to do it. I'm already showing my neighbors. I'm helping them out with their yards. Because I think we need to, I think us healing the biosphere is just something good. I'll just put it that way. I'm not going to say it's like, it's what's going to save the planet. Because like, if we all died today, we wouldn't even have to do this stuff, like, and just grow. As long as there's humans around, we're going to need to do some stuff. So these are the cloth bags. And so what I did is, like, that cardboard has some mycelia on it. And so I did that with more sticks wrapped around it, boop, 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 and then topped it off. And so there's actually a more close-up one. So I got, like, stick 666, and then, like, reeds, mycelia, layer it, and then layer it with more crap, and then put some soil on top of it, and then mulch on top of it, and dirt on top of it. And then I stuck the sticks up like this so the mycelia will travel up, and then hopefully spread out a lot more. Oh, I also mixed like, not bone meal, what's that stuff called? What's going on, Brie? A bunch of organic vegetable and flour fertilizer, which is basically, it's like the bone meal, ground bone fish, the oyster shell crap. So here's more of a picture, and then what I did with these pots is I actually set up the pots early so all this stuff would start rotting sooner. This is my strawberry starts. There's 72 of them. This is 72 strawberry plants. This is ground. So here's something I want to talk to you about. We eat a lot of chicken thighs. I'm a chicken thigh maximalist, and here's why. Chicken thighs are really cheap and they're really good for you. Okay, if you want to be moral, eating chicken's not the most moral food in the universe. But we're at where we're at, and when we have more money, we'll go ahead and just go to a local place and get them. But anyways, chicken thighs are dirt cheap. If you're poor, if you don't have money, eat chicken thighs. It is a high protein, like it's got a lot of protein in it. It's got a lot of fat in it, and fat mixed with protein or fatty proteins are easier for your body to digest, and you digest more nutrients as a result of it. So what I did is I boiled the bones afterwards, and the reason that I boiled the bones afterward is to make a bone broth. Why do you make a bone broth? Because it leaches some of the marrow, some of the calcium, some of the gelatin, and it's the stuff that's in cruciferous vegetables. Anyways, it heals your joints. Okay, so your joints are made out of the same stuff the bones are. And so we used to like boil bones, eat bones, have bone stews, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, you used to make like real stocks before we just ate Twinkies or whatever the hell that is. Love you too, Bae. You should listen to the rest of this sometime. Love you. Angels on your pillow. Happy Mother's Day. If I forget, because I'm tired and just... We'll talk about my life another time. Anyways, so you boil those down and then drink the bone broth, and it regenerates your joints. So, Brie, you'll probably be aware of this fact. So there's a ton of kids who, teenagers in sports who keep getting injured. And so it's like, are parents pushing their kids too hard? And what the hell is going on? Like, why are kids getting so many sports-related injuries? It's because their joints are weaker. Their joints are weaker than the boomers because they're eating wheat that's been covered in natural gas and pumped full of high fructose corn syrup, which is sugar that we get from corn because it's cheaper than bringing sugar into the country because there's a sugar embargo on Cuba or some shit like that. So that's why kids are getting so many injuries. So this helps deal with it. When it's done, I take the boiled bones, I put them in the oven, and I bake them until they're dry and brittle, put them in a freaking blender, and there's your bone meal. 100% of the chicken thighs get used in my family. And it's really good because brie, I don't know, you just eat it once a week. Dude, that's more than my entire yard could use in a year. Easy. And it's going to make the berries and everything bigger. So anyways, this is me like kind of leveling it out as I was putting soil in it. So I just kind of wanted to do that. There's my psyllia log. There's my psyllia log. And then I put more wood for it to kind of travel along. Brie makes some shit ass awesome bone broth. I'm not sure like shit ass and delicious is what you need to put together, but I hear you, and I bet you do. You strike me as well. I remember Brie's bitchin' broth, and I would have eaten that. I would have put that in my mouth. So I have a couple callas back here, Brie, because I just wanted to have something where Jessica's gonna have lots of flowers. I basically want to have flowers for the while the baby's here. But mostly this is going to be an herb garden, so we're going to have like cilantro in the cubes. So it's going to be like, some cilantro and parsley and dill and oregano. Well, actually I don't have oregano, but basil, thyme. Thyme actually drives away the mosquitoes. So a lot of bugs don't like the smell of herbs. So, and you'll really appreciate this, Brie. You'll get my Amazon thing some more. So what I'm doing is, and also marigolds. So I'm creating a barrier of plants that bugs don't like to protect the garden. And I'm also putting coffee grounds under the cardboard, which bugs also don't like. So basically I'm using just natural recycled or like food itself to protect the food from bugs without having to use any pesticides. In theory, we'll see how that works. But man, look at it. So that was that was the little log that you saw that had a little bit of it, and that's that after being in a tub for a few weeks. And so then I put more sticks down, I put more stuff down, I put the soil down, and then I leveled out the soil. Thank you, I appreciate that. And also, it's a backyard garden that my kid can draw on. And I am going to move all this crap out of the way. So there's that, and then here's, oh yeah, that's me so I just dug out this little corner. So this thing is a yard. It's a square yard. And then there's a bunch of the strawberries that I got out of it. So what I did is I soaked the strawberries in water to clean them up a little bit. And then, oh yeah, that was a mint that I found. So I was like, I might as well. And there's a video that doesn't matter what it is. I went ahead and I'm trying to make I'm recording all of this for my ebook or whatever the crap if I wind up doing that. And so what I did is I replanted them, and then all these pots I got for free from Lowe's because they just go ahead and they're just like, here, you want a bunch of these? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll totally do a trillion starts. So now I have 40 freaking established strawberries, not including the 72. And I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm basically getting it's like pig wire. It's like chicken wire, but bigger squares. And then I'm going to make a wedding cake out of it. And then basically top strawberries, and then on the sides they've got those slats in it. So you stick the strawberry plats in the slat, and then top it again, and then put more strawberries in, and then strawberries, and it's like a tiered cake of strawberries, which I will protect with a barrier of coffee and some other crap. And then me and the slugs can go to town at 5. Actually, the slugs really come out around 6:37. This was demonstrating what the problem I have with the raspberries. You saw my post. You probably saw my post about I got 99 problems, and what to do with these raspberries is one of them. People oh, make raspberry jam. Oh, why don't you go ahead and freeze dry raspberries? I'm like, okay, well I got a $6,000 freeze dryer just sitting around. That's how much a cheap freeze dryer costs. And then it's also the bags. So no, I'm pretty good. Thanks for the ideas. No, I'm talking about the plants. Brie, that thing's almost 12 feet tall. That one is 12. It's falling over. It's so gigantic. And literally this growth happened in a month after I put some nitrogen on it. Lowe's gives away so much. My bestie's husband showed up after hours to snag stuff. Dude, yeah, seriously, I should just know where I'm going at midnight. But anyways, so what I was talking about is just managing the plants. What the hell do you do, Brie? So what I did is I put up a fence. There's a video showing some stuff. Oh, actually, I do want to show this one real quick. Actually, I gotta maybe.
Hey guys, so I talk about bioactive soil somewhat. That's basically what I'm talking about. So this is a strawberry bed, but really, as you can see, it's like a weed bed. So I'm cleaning it out to save the strawberries, plant later. Made another video on it. But I just wanted to show you what happened when I pulled back the buttercups. These terrible plants of buttercup. But look at all those bugs. There's giant worms in there, all kinds of stuff. So this is what plants want. It's not like monoculture, monocrops, nitrogen-filled soil. It's this stuff. See, look at all those little worms and bugs. You see this big worm right there? Okay, see that guy? See that? Well, it's going to turn to more worms someday. And then all these little pill bugs. Look at these guys. I mean, this soil's alive. It's actually like... And basically all it's been is... Here, I'll show you more. And pulled out some slugs and some other stuff. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a little sleep deprived. Look at these damn
I'm
roots.
really sleep deprived.
Here, I want to show you something. This is what a freaking... What is that?
And I will ask you about Fenstrona.
Yeah, that's not a good example. I digress. This is a buttercup root. So you see that? It's called a buttercup. It's a terrible plant. It makes these cute little flowers. People are like, oh, it's so cute.
It is squiggly.
Damn, look at that thing. And that's
Bree, you know, I wanted to replace Chris Cuomo, but nobody wants me. So I might garden. Oh, my soil is squiggling. My soul is squiggling too. I love this. I can't even begin to tell you how much I am enjoying the crap out of this. Like, this might be my jam. This might be my jam. And it is squiggling. Like, it literally, like, it's just, there's so many freaking bugs there, and the plants love all the, like, it just, like, it makes sense anyways. Where we're going, there's the buttercup. It doesn't matter. You know what buttercups are. You live here. But actually, check out this one buttercup root I think I ripped out.
But look at what the roots turn into. So they just creep and crawl all throughout this entire bed, choking out the whatever. Now, here's an advantage to something like just letting the earth sit there. Amy Pellegrini will know what I'm talking about. She once talked, like, you know,
oh well. There's a biblical quote about leaving your soil alone that Amy was talking about. So there's more like little videos of me doing with the soil, and then I went ahead and tilled it, and not tilled it, but I raked some of the crap out, and then I took a picture for Brian, because I could imagine he'd get all hippie and weird on me. CNN will take you. They have nothing but Anderson at this point. Yeah, I'll reach out to him. Do you want me to send him a demo? I would work for CNN, Marie. I really would. Have me interview Trump. Oh yeah, and I did watch a little bit of that, and I do want to give my take on it, which was like, anybody who hates Trump is gonna hate Trump, and anybody who loves Trump is gonna love Trump. The people who love Trump are gonna say it's good, the people who hate Trump are gonna say it's bad. I saw, classic Trump, like, he's a total smartass. He's like, what is it? Like, what was one of the things? Okay, so you're accused of, sexually assaulting or harassing this woman and blah, blah, like however she said it. And he's like, her cat's named Vagina. Like, that's his defense. And it was like it was like the Rosie O'Donnell crap all over again. Like, it's like a Donald Trump. It's like he's the stand-up comedian politician. And so it was a bunch more of that. And here's the thing, Bree. Like, I saw a bunch of people on the left talking about, Donald Trump's indictment and that stuff. Or I don't even know what it is, because I'm not following any of this stuff. Because I'm done. I'm just done. Unless I get paid. Then I'll pay attention. CNN could pay me a lot. Deflection. But he's a master at it. Yeah, but it's just like, he's really good at deflection. He's really good at it, because people are like... Trust me, from a master of deflection, if you can make people laugh, you get away with everything. It's how I got through high school. I got through high school by being honest, exaggerating, and being funny. They're like, hey, Jacob, what were you doing last night? I was like, oh, well, I was selling a bunch of drugs, so then I got a bunch of LSD and just went ham. And they're like, oh, you're so funny, Jacob. And I'm like, yeah, hilarious. That's how you get through life. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're big on deflection. So why don't you love Donald Trump? Is it that he's a mirror? But what was I actually did have a point there, Brie. And I lost it. It doesn't. Oh yeah. So did you see any of the Biden's shit? Did you see any of what like the Congress going after Biden? And like the Biden crime family stuff. Like, here's the difference between the Bidens and Trump. There's more similarities than there are differences. But here's the big one. Donald Trump has hotels. Donald Trump has like casinos. Donald Trump has golf courses. Donald Trump has like Trump Brain. Donald Trump had the TV show. And so it's like, oh, here's a business. Whereas the Bidens have a corporation that gets money. And it doesn't provide anything. They just get money. Like, it's just bribes. They set up a whole bunch of bribes to launder money. But I digress. You and Trump do kind of have the same hair. Trump vagina. That could be a tramp stamp. That shouldn't be a tramp stamp. So what I did anyway, I'm going to move on. So anyways, I put some mulch on top of that to get the mycelia going. Then I put some cardboard on top of it. And then this I took as a picture for like my station of replanting the strawberries. If they live, I will show people my techniques. I took a picture of this. Look at how big that root is. Like, did you know strawberries have giant roots like that? I didn't. And I think that might be my last. What are you doing? Is that my last picture? That's my last picture. Where was actually? There's one more over here. Brains. I'll go photos, library. Let's see if I had any others. Yep. And then it's just the videos. And so we'll do one more quick one. Actually, I'm gonna do. I got it. I know. I'm gonna go here to garden. First, we'll go up here to view albums, garden. So real quick. So today I hit those guys with nitrogen, those guys with nitrogen, these two guys with nitrogen, and that guy back there. And we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to do a quick little progress photo on how the yard and everything's looking, because it's gonna look different very soon. So that turned into view photos library. This in less than a month. But you live out here, so you're not as shocked by it as a lot of other people. Like, I remember when I first moved here, I was like, the grass just grew an inch. Like, I was walking around yesterday, and it was this tall, and now it's like, bam! And then it's like, bam! And then it's like, bam! No wonder they grow all the hops here. So, that's my prepared show for you. So what I'd like to do is scroll through Twitter real quick, because I want to torture myself. I don't know. Maybe I'll check my likes or bookmarks. We have to count yours every 4 days. Every 4 days is actually, that's real good. That's actually, I would say that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to pull up, I'm going to check my bookmarks, because that might have stuff in there. There's a bookmark. F around, find out. This is actually pretty good, Brie. I think I know what we're going to talk about. So did you hear about that guy in New York? Like, you watch a lot of news. The guy on the subway in New York who got killed. I think what's happening is, and you can say yeah or no, just for the people who don't know. Okay, so you did hear about it. Marine subway. Shut up. Okay, so for those of you who might not know, here's this guy who's a Marine, and there's this other guy helping him, and they're helping restrain this guy who is a crazy homeless person on drugs who was yelling at people, and then they're like, yo, we're gonna wrap him up, and now they're like, oh, we need to prosecute this guy. Don't worry, like, this guy, slapped, I think he kidnapped a kid, like a 7-year-old, slapped like an old woman, and he's been arrested 40 times, and he's got a bench warrant and all this other stuff, and so, like, he's causing all these problems, and then this guy wraps him up. And here's why I think everything's going to go to hell, Brie, in a nutshell. And you can You know, I'm gonna put my hands up. You're better read than I am. But what's the job of the government? Like, ultimately, what's the job of the government? And so, from my personal perspective, the job of the government is law and order. Okay, the one thing that I think we're supposed to expect from our leaders is we give up some of our rights and we give up some of our freedoms and we give up some of our money in order for them to protect us. Now, whether it's like protect our borders or protect our towns or protect us as individuals, okay, great. Well, we went ahead and castrated the police and they were doing whatever they were. And now we have DAs who are like, you know what? It's really bad that, I mean, it's actually here, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going on. And this is not me being a smart ass about it. One of my uncles was the doctor, the head doctor for the prison system in Maricopa County. We're talking Sheriff Joe, okay? And that's a big county, okay? So he was the doc in charge of that prison. He saw somebody die from an ulcer. Literally, the guy died from an ulcer. He was puking up blood and just like, and deny care, because that's what the private prison system does. It's for profit. For-profit prisons should be outlawed. In the United, it should be outlawed. Okay, no private prisons. That should be the government's job. The end. Because it creates perverse incentives. And anyways, like deny care. Guy dies, pukes up blood, and so they're like, "Hey, uncle, what's going on?" He's just like, "Oh, this happens all the time, man. There's like this is terrible." And I was like, "Okay, so what about the guy? Like, what about the guy?" He was like, "He was a violent felon." Okay, because I'm pretty sure he was a murderer. And so it's like, are we going to have murderers be tortured to death and spend all of their life in prison? Which dying from an ulcer seems absurd to me. Like that's pretty heinous. And so the Democrat solution is, well, it's not the criminal's fault. We should just put them back out on the street. And so the Democrats are just releasing a bunch of criminals. They're just like, here, let's just throw them out. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Bree got real sick in jail. It took 3 days to get me to the hospital. Dude, prisons are terrible. Jail's terrible. Prisons are terrible. Don't get me wrong. And also, for nonviolent stuff, people should not go to jail or prison unless it's, white-collar crime. But for, like, having a taillight out or, having, a bench warrant because you didn't pay a parking ticket and then you wind up losing your job and because you get jailed over the weekend and your boss fires you and then you lose your apartment and blah, blah, blah. Like, that stuff's terrible, okay? That stuff should be gone. But for violent felons, just lock them up, okay? Like, if it is a, if this guy rapes babies, like, why don't we just kill him? Oh, he raped a one? Oh, he's a rapist? Let's kill him. Oh, he raped a baby. Okay, cool. Oh, he killed a bunch of people. Oh, cool. Let's just kill him. Why don't we just kill him? I don't feel bad for the people who are bad. Why should we feel bad for them? I'm sorry that you were beaten your whole life. I don't think you should be allowed to go out and push women on trains and just endlessly rape them. So, like, AOC is, and I'm going to use her as the quintessential example, is like, we need to, like, this guy needs to get arrested, the Marine needs to get arrested, this guy's the victim. No, all these people are the victim, okay? The public is the victim of an incompetent government, and the government is not doing its quintessential job, and as a result of it, everything is going to go to hell. You're going to have more vigilante justice stuff. This guy isn't trained at restraining people. If I locked this guy up, he wouldn't have died, okay? And he would have passed out in 6 seconds. I know how to do a carotid artery choke. You know how? Because I used to work in a strip club. I can choke a guy out in 6 seconds. I got to get my arms around him, but seriously, just like around the neck and they're done. You just get it right here. You can even do it with a shirt. And as soon as they go limp, you just let them go. Because you're going to cut off blood from the brain and they're going to die. Anyways, and so, like, the public has to defend itself, and so they're criminalizing self-defense, and they're decriminalizing criminals. Like, it's upside down. Now, they call it anarcho-tyranny, and that might be a word for it, and I used that word for a while, but I think it's just stupidity. It's the stupidity of progressivism. So anyways, like, that's one of the things I want to talk about. My kid's waking up, so I'm going to bang through this real quick. This stuff is, some cops asking for bullets, and this guy's like, F you, I'm not sending you cops any bullets. You guys were enforcing Governor Whitmer's lockdown stuff. This one blew my damn mind. Only 2.8% of those over age 65 who were put on ventilators survived. To put this into perspective, COVID patients over age 65 were more than 26 times as likely to survive if they were not placed on mechanical ventilators. An estimated 30,000 Americans were killed by ventilators and latrogenesis in April 2020. 30,000. Remember that little counter on CNN, that giant number of people freaking out? It's because of medical malpractice. They were killing people, Bree. That was a pretty big one. What else? That's a pretty good one. The oligarchs are weaponizing political propaganda. So it's like black people they hate white people, and white people trying to hate black people. Let's go ahead and stir up some of those races, and like tribal cleave, like we'll just cleave everybody because like if you want to destroy the oligarchs in this country, besides gardening, is get white people and black people to work together. That would do it. And that's something about like, I don't know, she's saying some stupid crap. ChatGPT, some people are using ChatGPT to gamble in the market. This actually reminds me of another one. There was a study that came out about studies, and it found that a third of all studies are lies. It's just people trying to get their PhDs. Breaking since taking the gavel in January. Biden families. Oh yeah, the Oversight Committee. So this is the investigations into the Biden family, which this is a pretty big story, but like, here's the thing. The left will never hear about it. The right will never hear about like the stuff that the left talks about that's absolutely true. So like the prison stuff I just talked about, the right's not going to hear about that. We have now established a network of over 20 companies formed by the Bidens and their associates. Most of these companies were LLCs formed when Joe Biden was vice president. I already explained exactly what that is. It's just money laundering and bribes. Woman violently robbed in Oakland while heading to a memorial. So a woman heading to an memorial for anti-police activists in Oakland who was killed in a violent robbery was severely beaten and robbed herself by a group of youths. The family of the deceased leftist activist said she wouldn't want the perpetrators jailed. That sounds absolutely correct. So here's a thing about the right being a bunch of dummies. So Kenneth Koa the Great is an awesome account. Dude, it's probably the most valuable account on Twitter, in my opinion. If I had to pick one, it might be this. He does just threads breaking down stuff. Or she, but I'm pretty sure it's a dude. Robert Kennedy Jr. explains that the U.S. military-industrial complex goal is to prolong the war in Ukraine, maximizing the loss of lives, will continue to expand NATO, and advocating regime change in Russia. This is no longer a humanitarian mission. It never was. It was always about the money, and I said this. And so Republicans and all these people were like, oh, yeah, we love Robert Kennedy. We love Robert Kennedy, the guy who wanted to jail people for friggin' climate change denial. So, like, okay, yeah, sure, but he's still, like, it's, you got to put these people into context. Like, if somebody's an authoritarian, keep him away from power. He's another authoritarian. Even if we're pushing on the same direction, me and Elon and this guy and Steve Bannon, like, and Jimmy Dore and Glenn Greenwald and, like, it's all these other people, we're pushing in the same direction, but it's not like I like any of the guys that I'm looking to my left or my right. Am I right? El Paso. So this is like the migrant stuff. I'll go ahead and explain the migrant stuff to you real quick. All these brown people coming into the United States, the 10 million new citizens we're going to get as a result of Joe Biden being president, means that the Democrats will never lose a national election again, and that's what this is all about. It's just a power grab for it. And I want you to know something. Multiculturalism doesn't work, okay? I used to live in the Southwest. I'm mixed. Well, I'm Hispanic, but it's like Mexican native mix, whatever. Like my mom's first language was Spanish. Anyways, so like certain cultures don't mix, and so people are like, oh, and again, it's just this, if I may, it's like progressive women, Brie. My God, it's like we're just gonna let out all the criminals, but they're gonna rape a bunch of women. Well, it's not their fault, and these are the women who live in safe places who aren't gonna get hurt by this stuff. Okay, you want to let the most sexist people in the planet in the country, like they talk about, white supremacy, or they talk about the patriarchy. Is there a more patriarchal culture than Latin Catholics? What the hell? Anyways, Writers Guild is on strike. I'm actually rooting for the writers. They get screwed a lot. If we're being honest, I'm pretty happy about it. F these guys. Let me see. Millions. Oh yeah, this is more. So this is a cool thing about Twitter and the new Twitter is like, so millions of angry armed Americans are prepared to seize power if Trump loses. What? That's just made up stuff. That's just noise. It's just noise. And so like Facebook now has something where it can fact check and correct this stuff. This is about how the CIA controls everything. If you haven't been paying attention, basically it's like accepted, thanks to Robert Kennedy and some others, but like a whole bunch of other people, that the CIA assassinated JFK. Like that's that's almost a fact at this point. And that the media is controlled by the CIA. NBC clearly is. It's clearly the CIA. The CIA is clearly in bed with the Democratic Party. This one I thought was pretty good. Le Rothschild called. It was pretty good. This was pretty outrageous. So was Tucker and Tulsi Gabbard. And he was talking about like people that he had private conversations with who, it's the members of Congress who are controlled by the intelligence agencies. He was telling him about how the head, and I think it was Darrell, it might have been Darrell Issa, I don't remember exactly who it was. It was implied, but basically the former head of the oversight committee for the intelligence agencies couldn't use his phone for on it. Like he couldn't just freely use his phone because the NSA hacked it. Like the NSA hacked all of his tweets. Oh yeah, and then I'm going to end on this one. So Kamala Harris is going to be our new AI czar. Okay, the dumbest person in the administration. She's like Tucker, whatever. Tucker's whatever. I actually like I actually like Free Tucker way more than Fox News Tucker. Because now he he swears as much as I do. It's so great. And so can Kamala. But dude, Kamala's an alcoholic. Have you seen her lately? And tell me she isn't drunk. Tell me Kamala Harris is not walking around giving speeches, doing all her stuff, drunk. I said this a long time ago at the beginning, Joe Biden has dementia. The guy is like almost dead. He's so old, he's gonna die. And then the lady who didn't get a single delegate, and I'll just say this to Bree and whoever watches this, I'm not going to go out and blast it, but she slept her way to the vice presidency, and if he dies, she will have slept her way to the presidency, is a functional alcoholic, but not even that functional. And we're going to put her in charge of AI. AI was created by the CIA anyways, I don't give a shit. So all this CIA stuff, all this AI stuff, dude, this is from the government. Like, I don't think Google came up with it. Actually, I did want to end up with this. I will. I'm going to end up with that. I'm going to end there and go get my kid. Okay, Bree? And honestly, I don't even hate Kamala. I don't hate Joe Biden. Like, I'm done. Like, here's really what I've come to the conclusion, Bree. The best thing I can do, the revolution, is having a healthy household. Okay, it's my kids being healthy, it's us being healthy, it's us being unplugged. I am in my garden, I am working on the soil, it is giving me exercise. I'm getting a bunch of dirt and all kinds of like microbiome stuff all over me. I'm getting like the sun on me, so I'm getting tons of vitamin D. But this is me making a difference, Bree. So like, what do you mean I should try harder making a difference? Like I'm making videos, I'm writing 3 articles a week, I'm doing organic gardening in my backyard so my kid can be fed all this stuff, and I'm gonna go and I'm talking about like, what the fuck do you want me to do, Bree? And I have like I'm raising a 2-year-old, and I have another kid on the way, and I'm the primary giver, and I have 3 dogs. The fuck? Bree, I'm doing it, okay? I'm not doing anymore unless CNN pays me. So you can go ahead, you send this video over to your friends at CNN and be like, hey, you want this guy to talk? He doesn't give a shit. I'll be like, yeah, sure, totally. But if you want it, like, don't hire me unless you want a journalist or a host show who can critically think and say, that sounds like dumb crap. Like, I'm not just some partisan hack. They can eat it if they want me to do that. I won't. Which is why I don't think I'll get a job. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, but so like, eat healthy, get outside, be healthy, eat healthy food. I'm cutting down on pollution. I am cutting down on the transportation of this stuff. I am eating more bioactive and bioavailable food. By being healthier, I will not have to buy pharmaceutical companies. I will not be buying the factory farm food. I will not be participating in the healthcare industrial complex. I'm just going to dip from a whole chunk of society. Petrochemicals. I'm not putting petrochemicals on their fields. By just simply growing my own food, I am cutting out so much corporate power from my life. Okay? So we pay off the house. We grow a ton of our own food. Eventually, like, I'll need some acres if we're really going to go for it. But then, boom, like, we won't need damn near anything. And not participate in the system. And I think that's the revolution. Like, if you could just get people to stop consuming and start producing, then we might save the planet from this crazy, insane consumer, quarter capitalistic monster of modern monetary theory that's eating the globe. So that's my radicalism, Brie. I'm gonna go. Garden radicalism. No, I'm not gonna do that one because apparently you can't do any of these signs anymore because they're all like Freemason BS. Anyways, I'll talk to you later, man. Brah. Oh, and I did get your thing. I'll totally be at Ron's thingy. And oh yeah, if you could remind me or tell your mom to remind me to get like the email about like when like I met Ron or like good memories with Ron, I will totally do that. It's just that I have no memory. I like see something and then it's like, Daddy, and I'm like, okay, crap. Okay, but I gotta go. I'm gonna talk to you later.